Welcome to non-fatigued, non-culturally enriched, no engineers and scientists here in beautiful Poland, a country where local authorities get to shoot migrants. What in the world is going on here? As of course, yes, those are actual headlines that you actually read from the corporate press and the corporate media about Poland. There's laws here that allow them to shoot migrants. We'll talk about that law. There's a lot of misnomers about that. A lot of interesting stuff also regarding Russia with that and the weaponization of immigration. As I want to do a little walk and talk showing you the old town here in Gdańsk, Poland, my hometown where I grew up. I want to talk about some of the good stuff, some of the bad stuff. I don't know if I will have time, but I'm actually literally considering moving down here forever. I'll tell you why. That might be a separate video actually. We'll see if I have enough time here because there's a lot to get into and a lot to uncover, especially when it comes to this kind of immigration story of Poland. As of course, you know, you look here, you see only one kind of group of people. Let's be honest with ourselves here. But the fact is, Poland actually does take in migrants, but it takes migrants from Ukraine. Now, Poland recently has decided to, of course, close up and set up border patrol checks with its border in Lithuania, with its border in Germany. And the issue of immigration is something that the people here feel very strongly about. As of course, there's a lot of other European countries like Germany, France, the United Kingdom, that have absolutely been conquered and destroyed through what I believe to be a plan of a deliberate destruction of its civilization. And when you look at the larger effects of mass migration, especially when it comes to a lot of these Western countries, let's just be real, they're not the best. The Polish people are a little bit immune to this kind of cultural extortion. Polish people are very proud. We're also very religious. There's churches everywhere. The government has been conservative for quite a while. That's changing a little bit. We'll tell you about that in a little bit here. But Al Jazeera just released a very interesting article talking about, quote, "We are scapegoats, the rise of anti-migrant anger in Poland." I don't know if it's as much as anger as much as it is kind of self-respect here. As of course, there have been some political shakeups in Poland. By the way, look how beautiful it looks. Look how little trash there is here on the floor, right? Look how little of, and this is a tourist area, right? But you could go to pretty much vast majority of places in Poland. This is just one of the nicest ones that I wanted to show you. It's my hometown. I kind of want to show off a little bit here. I feel great being here, by the way. I've been eating nothing but like sausage and like pig lard. And I'm like losing weight. My like double chin is like melting off. And I'm like, I feel better. That's why I'll do a separate video about moving here, potentially moving here. Let's stay on the topic here of immigration. Now, you're also seeing a lot of tourists here, so there's a lot of German tourists here as well. There's a lot of German-inspired architecture here as well. This town that I grew up in, I'll give you the full history in the next video, but let's get to this Al Jazeera kind of article, because they just published an article attacking Poland, claiming anti-immigrant sentiment is currently on the rise, and I think that's fair. Now, whether you kind of classify it as hate, I would more classify it as kind of self-respect and dignity for one's kind of culture. Because when the Ukraine war kind of started off, the Polish people were like, yeah, come on in. We'll make sure that the Ukrainian people are taken care of. We'll make sure that they have refuge here. Now, that has even reached the point where some people aren't even happy about that. Mainly because a lot of Ukrainians are coming here, taking advantage of the kind of situation here and acting as kind of labor here. I spent one night in a hotel room here, and then the cleaning lady is like from Ukraine. So a lot of Polish people also are like, you know, not too happy about Ukrainian immigrants kind of coming in here and then taking some of the jobs that used to be Polish jobs. And the job market, again, gets a little bit more complicated here, as of course there's a lot of high taxes here, here as well. Now, Poland has actually taken in more migrants than a lot of European countries, and that's the kind of misnomer here. People are like, Poland takes no migrants. No, we do. And it is having an effect on the job market, and it is having an effect on the opportunities for local Polish people, especially people coming from Ukraine, fleeing the war, coming here. And there's, multiple stories that are coming out here highlighting how, some of the people coming over aren't the best of people. I know, some personal stories myself, and it's a mixed bag. But when it comes to having borders wide open to specifically sub-Sahara Africa and the Middle East, Poland's like, we're okay. We're fine with those type of immigrants. As of course, there's a Polish law here that was overwhelmingly approved that actually allows, and this is the kind of misconception here because we all saw the headlines, we all saw the YouTube videos, Polish military and police could shoot migrants. It's a little bit more complicated than that, especially with the weaponization of immigration. Polish lawmakers overwhelmingly approved a new law here that would allow the military and border guards to fire live ammunition at migrants trying to cross into the country illegally from Belarus. The law adapted is following, of course, a tragic death of a Polish guard who was actually killed by a migrant who threw a spear at him from the Belarus border. And there's been a lot of clashes with the Polish military. By the way, look at this beauty, man. I mean, this type of architecture, this type of history, you just clearly don't find in America. I'm so proud of my hometown. Sorry, I just got a little overwhelmed here with just the scenery and the ambiance here of just how beautiful and amazing it looks here. Now, there is a law here that was passed that allows the military and border guards to protect themselves after we had one of the border guards lose their life here. And because of that loss of life here, now the Polish military and border patrol legally can defend themselves. Now, this isn't as controversial as you think it is because it's common sense here. If someone tries to hurt you or take your life, you should be able to defend yourself. So all the liberals and all the people clutching their pearls being like, oh no, Poland, oh no, they're just shooting migrants here indiscriminately. No, that's not what's happening here. It happened because people should have a right to defend themselves, especially when you have weaponized migrants that the Russian government is engineering and trying to send over to Poland, trying to take the lives of border guards and taking the lives of border guards and seriously injuring them and literally spearing one in the head. Now, there was a big parliamentary vote. 401 members of the Polish parliament voted to adopt this law because it's common sense. It's not as hyperbolic and sensationalistic as the media makes it out to be. 17 voted against it. As of course, now officers are exempt from liability in cases of self-defense or to prevent an unlawful attack, to, quote, respect the integrity of state borders when the life, health, and liberty of law enforcement officers are at risk. I don't know about you. That kind of makes sense here. As again, it's being criticized here, but when we look at the people coming in from Belarus, they're not people from Belarus. There's a couple of Belarus migrants here in Poland, but the ones trying to get in here illegally through these type of hordes, they're not from Belarus. They're not even from Ukraine. They're from Iraq, they're from Afghanistan, and from the Middle East. They're from Africa. And as you can see here, there's not a lot of those people here. Now they could come, they could visit, they could be tourists, but Poland, high taxes, not a lot of socialism like a lot of the other European countries. So that's been an issue for why they haven't been coming in the first place. And I think that's important. Oh, look, we got a fellow. What do I call myself? Celebritard. Sorry. I digress here. Now, clearly, with no big, strong social nets of support, a lot of people don't want to come here because you have to work. Like, oh no. I usually sometimes keep I keep the camera face on me, but this is such like an amazing piece of like history and architecture all around us. I just feel guilty showing you my mug instead of what am I surrounded by, what am I inspired by? Because, you know, architecture does play a major role to the moral of a society. And there's a lot of, you know, respect for people cleaning up after themselves. There's a lot of self-respect. And I know the Western media likes to portray it as we hate. No, we just love each other and respect each other to not put ourselves at risk here with sub-Saharan scholars and engineers that are going to come here that are not aligned culturally, religiously, and politically with our ideas and ideologies that has made this country as great and as beautiful as it is. And we shouldn't have to apologize for it. And I don't want to apologize for it. And whatever kind of sensationalistic nonsense from the corporate media you hear, I think it's common sense that people should be able to protect themselves when they're directly being attacked from the migrant hordes that Russia is organizing, sending over to Europe in order to try to destabilize Poland. All right? Belarus, country strongly connected to Russia, and they understand, hey, if there's mass migration, there's the weaponization of it to weigh down the social resources of a country. They understand that it propels this kind of divide and conquer agenda. It weighs down the social safety nets. It creates a situation that is extremely unstable for the local population to deal with. Hold on, look how beautiful this freaking looks. Sorry. Again, my hometown, you know. Okay, enough of my ugly mug here. But things are changing here a little bit in Poland here. Now, of course, anyone could come visit and vacation, but trying to start a life here as someone who's an outsider is difficult. It's not easy. Now, Poland's economy is growing, and it is slowly adapting new type of policies, capitalistic policies that do incentivize businesses and corporations to come here. And you do see a lot of investment, a lot of money. Now, Poland still is a part of the European Union, and the European Union is absolutely pissed at Poland for trying to keep its cultural, political, and religious type of hegemony that we respect. Now, the Polish people are very proud people, and they're people that, of course, can't just be swayed with this nonsense, as there's a lot of Polish people now, specifically moving away from Germany because of how unstable Germany is. Now, why is Germany so unstable? Well, because of the mass migrants. What is Russia trying to do to Poland? Trying to destabilize it with mass migrants. Again, now it kind of leaves the question, what are Democrats doing? What are the liberals doing? What are the other Western powers that are inflicting this kind of self-inflicted wound on themselves, saying, open borders, come on in, anyone in. Oh, there's grooming gangs? Yeah, we're just gonna pass new censorship laws where you guys won't be able to see any of that anymore. You don't see it, doesn't happen. Oh, the statistics when it comes to assaults, which have risen dramatically, especially when it comes to new migrants from Africa and the Middle East coming over here. Yeah, we're just gonna muddy those and make sure you guys don't see those, because if you don't see, it's not an actual problem. But when you actually go to these countries, and I've been to a lot of these countries, this is my first time in Poland back in a while, and man, I feel so good here. I feel like you don't have to worry about or stress about anything. Yeah, there's some random gypsies or some like drunks randomly. Yeah, I mean, nothing's perfect. But you compare this to how people have to live in like Berlin or in Paris or in London. I mean, just look at the people here. Look how like carefree, worry-free, stress-free they are. And then there's a whole bunch of corporatist globalists that want to take that away from these people, my people. And listen, with the U.S. aid, they're working on it, and they're very close towards achieving that, especially as the presidential election was extremely close here, which was extremely nerve-wracking. It's like, wait, hold on. We're about to have a liberal president and prime minister? Wait, what? The prime minister is a globalist stooge, and they're slowly trying to get migrants into this country. There's been multiple reports of the German government and German police trying to sneak in migrants through the Polish border. Polish citizens are up in arms. There's major rallies against these type of migrants from being introduced into our society in the center of Warsaw. There's major protests happening along the border where specifically there's Polish patriots showing up and saying, what the hell are you doing, German police, trying to bring this sub-Saharan African into our frickin' country? What are you doing here? Setting up this type of reckless policy that is only going to destabilize and destroy what these people have. That is one of the few last bastions of a growing type of civilization that, again, still has its own problems. I mean, alcoholism, still a problem. People not having enough babies, still a major problem. I'll go over that in my next video. I'm gonna go to another really beautiful spot, and I'm just gonna walk around and show you guys the sights, show you guys the people, show you guys. You're mainly seeing tourists here, to be quite honest with you. There's another part, Sopot, which is also really beautiful, that I'll probably do another walk and talk on, just to kind of show you and highlight to you the more kind of beauties in this Trójmiasto, tri-city type of area, with a lot of history that is a history of a people's struggle. The people Poland struggled a lot. Our borders suck, especially to the east and west. Like, we're screwed. Like, we're screwed east and west. We don't have a lot of natural barriers. And there was even a time where Poland didn't even exist as a country. And because it didn't exist as a country, because there were so many trials and tribulations, so many hard, difficult things, especially under Soviet oppression, that these people had to go through. Finally, that we got some kind of freedom, got some type of liberty here. Here, I'll take you down this street here so you can see the markets that they have available here for everybody here. Because there's such a long, strenuous war struggle of people dealing through occupation, now finally that we're granted some sovereignty and liberty, people still want to respect that. And it's like, hey, we have a good thing. We shouldn't ruin it. We shouldn't destroy this very beautiful, amazing, incredible thing that we all have. We shouldn't take it for granted. As there is a push by some liberals and some leftists saying, no, we got to join the European Union. The European Union needs to conquer us, tell us what to do, subjugate us and control us, and then tell us and propel our type of lifestyle and subjugate us and make us more like Europe and more open towards diversity. We got to get those scholars and engineers and doctors in here. And I'm like, I don't think we do. I don't think we should. I think Poland is amazing as it is because of our steadfast love for ourselves, respect for ourselves, and pride for ourselves. And a lot of people try to make it out like pride's a bad thing. I don't think it is, especially when it comes to nation states respecting and understanding the sovereignty and its kind of self-identity that is muddied through open immigration, open borders, and the deliberate destruction of Western civilization, which I would argue is happening right now in Europe. By the way, we're doing a meetup here in just a few hours from now. I think you could still come. If you want to come, do a little tour. We're going to do a little tour at 8 p.m. In Poland, in Gdańsk. This video is going to be out by then, by the way. Come out. Sign up to lookunfiltered.com. We do a lot of members meetups. We try to bring people together to give them a kind of cohesive sense of community. We try to, just like Poland, where again, family values are important. There's still deadbeat dads, but deadbeat dads are kind of shunned upon and attacked by society. When you look at everything that's kind of happening with the society and the culture and the values here, some would say, you know, there's a war to totally destroy it. And I could understand that, and I hope that war is unsuccessful. And I hope what Poland is stays Poland. Will it? I'm going to answer that question in another video because there's some apprehensions that I have, some worries and fears that I have that highlight how things aren't looking too good. I'll talk about that because I did some digging and I talked to a lot of people because I literally feel so freaking good here. I'm so much healthier here. The food in America is poisoned. Poisoned. It's disgusting. I'll save that for the next video. Subscribe, click the notification button. Come out to our meetups. Even if you can't come out, sign up, come out to the next one. Anytime I travel, I'm going to do more meetups. I'm going to be, hey, I might even do one in Texas. I'm going to Ron Paul's birthday in a little bit too. So stay tuned for that and a lot more, all here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange. I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk and talk throughout all of Poland. Here, let me show you. I want to leave it off on the type of beauty and innocence that Poland represents as, listen, these types of things, a lot of Western countries took for granted and they're gone and they're never coming back. Stop trying to take it away from Poland. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.